Yes, of course I was muted. Is it a prank? No, this time I actually forgot. I was fixing a lot of the a lot of the audio, and it wasn't working for some reason. So I accidentally muted my mic, I guess. But now we are here. Good morning. Hi, hi. Good evening. How are you guys doing? What are you reading, sir? Nothing yet. We will be reading soon. How was your sleep? I barely got any sleep, not gonna lie. But we are here to have some scary reading SCP information. It's usually the kind of thing that you would not read in a campfire, right? I mean, you would just tell like stories, right? Like spooky stories, but not really read SCP stories or wiki, I guess. I really hope these are not that terrifying, but they are most likely very disturbing. I mean, most SCPs are very disturbing. Let me just go ahead and the acronym SCP means it's the initials for Special Containment Procedures, I believe. Initialism, not an initialism of the SCP Foundation motto, secure, contain, protect, which is a backronym from SCP. Interesting. Yes, SCP is actually the foundation for a lot of those video games that you see, right? With like weird monsters or creatures, right? Like one could say that the monsters in or the entities in any game could be an SCP of some kind, right? These SCPs have been studied, and they're all in the SCP wiki, you know, with all their information researched, contained. Some of these are unkillable, I guess. You know, they have to be contained, and some of them are not even contained. Some of them are just impossible to capture, right? These stories are true? No. They're fiction. But you never know, maybe they are true. Maybe they are true. These are not like legends or myths or urban legends kind of thing, right? However, one could argue that urban legends are also SCP, right? Because you never really know. I mean, SCP could be anything. SCP is Special Containment Procedures, right? It could literally be anything. You could even say that the entities in the back rooms are SCP, or the entities in Lethal Company are SCP, or you could also say that any type of spirit or ghost in the living world is an SCP, you know? Yeah, who knows? You may have an SCP lurking where you are. But before we start, I want to make sure that everybody is good. You have your drinks. I have my coffee right now. Are you an SCP? I could be an SCP. You never know. Maybe even vampires are an SCP. Could be, you know? How are we looking? Is the background music okay for you? Is the mic okay for you? Is the campfire, everything okay for you? The creatures from these stories are human-made? No. They're human-researched and contained. Yes. Experimented on sometimes. Maybe we are an SCP. Maybe the human race is actually an SCP. Yeah, maybe you are an SCP. Maybe the only normal people in this world is vampire. And since I'm the only vampire, I'm the only one remaining. The SCP is the friends we made along the way. You're not hearing the background personally? Hold on. You might be right. You might be right. It's very low though. It's actually very, very low. Is that good? Okay. Don't contain us. I will contain you all within jars. Amy Keller, thank you for the super. Loving the glasses, Lucy. Looking smart as always. Thank you for the compliment. Also, cool looks butter. Thank you for the Moomba. Welcome, welcome. Alphonse, thank you for the one gifted. Alphonse again. Thank you for the one gifted. Mickey, thank you for the one gifted. Mickey again. Thank you so much for the one gifted. And Alphonse, one more time. Thank you for the one gifted. Anyways, I asked you guys to submit your SCPs or your favorite SCPs from the wiki or your own stories, and thank you. A lot of you actually did submit some pretty interesting ones that I haven't really gone through, so we're gonna go through them right here on the stream. If you're curious about what we are going to be reading, I will be using this page over here. You can click on it. If you're on phone, I'm sorry. Just listen. But you can also read alongside me. Also, I'm not really good at reading, so I might actually, misread some things. I feel like my brain reads faster than my my mouth. Some good coffee. Did you all bring your marshmallows? Because you can't have a campfire without marshmallows, right? It's impossible. We should make s'mores. We should. No marshmallows when you got coffee. That's good enough. Does the weather being dark and gloomy count for this reading? I guess it should, a little more immersive. Hi. Welcome on in. I'm gonna give it a few minutes before we finally start. The page is you can literally just find the SCP Foundation wiki, and you should be able to find all of the things that we're going to be reading today. I think only one of them is not actually in the SCP Foundation page. What if a s'mores flavored coffee? I've never tried that, but it sounds really good. sounds like a good idea. The pause allowed me to get tea or something for my cold. Let's go. Also, I hope you feel better. I know being sick sucks. I am still a little sick. You know, still having that cough and rough throat, and my nose being very, very cluggy or clogged. Took your chamomile drink. You know, that's something I actually haven't had in a while, chamomile. I really miss it. I love chamomile tea. It's one of my favorite teas. It's storming here, so I guess it's more immersive. Also, congratulations everyone for going through Baby Blue's Nightmares a couple of hours ago. That game was crazy. If you haven't watched the VOD, I recommend it. It's very scary. It was a very scary game. Actually, I went as soon as I finished. I went to Discord and I tagged everyone, and I was like, "All right, you guys should play this, except for Gale, because Gale never gets scared." I hope they do. Congrats to you to surviving it, Lucy. I can't believe we actually did. Like, I'm surprised we actually beat the game. Gale is immune to horror. Yeah, I don't know, man. Gale is built different, I guess. Oh my god, hi. Hi. Thankfully, there's not going to be any screams today. At least not right now. Because it's just going to be a reading stream, and the only thing that will be kind of is probably creepy. You know, probably some creepy stuff or some more like questionable readings, I guess. And more yawns, yeah. So basically, it's kind of like a stream that maybe will be meant to help you sleep. However, maybe not for the good. So I am sorry. I am sorry if you get nightmares after this. You keep yawning, yeah. I just woke up. Thank you for the nightmares anyways. What? Do you have a favorite SCP? Not really. I only recently got into like the SCP stuff. I've been more of a backrooms kind of guy. You know, like watching all these like backrooms and knowing the entities and all of that, like the different floors. I've always been more of a backrooms kind of person. But the SCP Foundation really caught my interest like not long ago when I found out about it. I am new here. Hi. Welcome. You like the tickle one? I think maybe we'll get there. I think it might be there. You're late? No, you're fine. You're just in time. But yeah, how about we get started? Let's start with the first one over here, being the SCP-096. Veli the Mership, thank you so much for the 3 months. Thank you. Happy 3 months, 95 days until Avallum 1st anniversary. Oh my god, that sounds like so close. Also, Stray Pilot, thank you so much for the super. Thank you. By the way, I think this is probably my first to second reading stream, so I'm very sorry. It's not so professional, you know, it's just literally a reading stream. So yeah, the first SCP with which we will start with is SCP-096. The item number SCP-096. Object class Euclid. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's a Euclid. That's the object class. Special containment procedures. SCP-096 is to be contained in its cell, a 5 meters x 5 meters x 5 meters airtight steel cube at all times. Damn. Weekly checks for any cracks or holes are mandatory. There are absolutely no video surveillance or optical tools of any kind inside SCP-096 cell. Security personnel will use pre-installed pressure sensors and laser detectors to ensure SCP-096's presence inside the cell. Let me drag this here. I need this so I can read it easier. No videos? No, there's no videos. Nothing like that. It's literally just checking. They have to check all the time. It seems like this is probably a very, very sneaky type of SCP or entity, and it could be very, very dangerous. But I guess we'll find out about it. Any and all photos, video, or recordings of SCP-096 likeness are strictly forbidden without approval. From the doctor and 05. Oh, wait, I know this one, guys. This is actually one of... Oh, I know this one. Oh, this one's actually so freaking scary. Let's get to the description, okay? This one's actually... I know this one. This one's actually freaking crazy. I've read about this one before, and I just realized, alright, let's go. The description of SCP-096. SCP-096 is a humanoid creature measuring approximately 2.38 meters in height. Subject shows very little muscle mass. So, you guys are gonna have to be a little creative here, right? If you're listening, and try to imagine the picture in your head. With preliminary analysis of body mass suggesting mild malnutrition, arms are grossly out of proportion with the rest of the subject's body, with an approximate length of 1.5 meters each. That's very long. Skin is mostly devoid of pigmentation, with no sign of any body hair. SCP's 096's jaw can open to 4 times the norm of an average human. Other facial features remain similar to an average human, with the exception of the eyes, which are also devoid of pigmentation. It is not yet known whether SCP-096 is blind or not. It shows no signs of any higher brain functions and is not considered to be sapient. SCP-096 is normally extremely docile, with pressure sensors inside its cell indicating it spends most of the day pacing by the eastern wall. However, when someone views SCP-096's face, whether it be directly, via video recording, or even a photograph, it will enter a stage of considerable emotional distress. SCP-096 will cover its face with its hands and begin screaming, crying, and babbling incoherently. Approximately 1 to 2 minutes after the first viewing, SCP-096 will begin running to the person who viewed its face, who will, from this point on, be referred as to SCP-096-1. Documented speeds have varied from 35 kilometers per hour to blank kilometers per hour, and seems to depend on distance from SCP-096-1 at this point. At this point, no known material or method can impede SCP-096's progress. So this thing is unstoppable. Like, once you see their face, somehow, even through video or through picture or directly, doesn't matter where you are in the world, it will find you, and it will chase you at great speeds. The actual position of SCP-096-1 does not seem to affect SCP's 096 response. It seems to have an innate sense of SCP's 096's location. Note, this reaction does not occur when viewing artistic depictions. Okay, so if somebody happens to draw SCP-096, you can look at it, right? So it should be okay. Upon arriving at SCP's 096-1's location, by the way, 1, when I say 1, like very set apart, it means the person that saw the picture, right? Or the video, or saw their face directly. SCP-096 will proceed to kill and data expunged SCP-096-1. 100% of the cases have left no traces of SCP-096-1. SCP-096 will then sit down for several minutes before regaining its composure and becoming docile once again. It will then attempt to make its way back to its natural habitat. Due to the possibility of a mass chain reaction, including breach of Foundation's secrecy and large civilian loss of life, retrieval of subject should be considered alpha priority. The Doctor has also petitioned for immediate termination of SCP-096. Termination order has been approved, and it is to be carried out by the Doctor. And that's actually kind of crazy. Yeah, so this is a very, very, very scary and large entity, and very slim as well, but kind of built in a sense. Imagine like very similar to Slender Man, but I guess more horrific, right? More scary. The mouth being able to open 4 times of the human is crazy. I think SCP-096 might be one of the scariest, probably one of the creepiest SCPs in SCP history, and definitely one of the more lethal, right? Like it's impossible to stop this thing. You can't. It's 100% kill rate. Now there's there's an interview audio log that we could read. How do you guys feel about that? Or do you want me to just read the specifications? It would be kind of weird because some of the interview audio logs are blanked. So as you can see, if you're looking at the page right here, let me give it back to you again. There you go. If you're looking at the page, you can see that at the bottom there's an audio log from interview. Right? This is an interview from the subject. The person that was being chased by SCP-096. Right? Remember, 096-1 is the victim that looked at 096. So the interviewer was the doctor. Interviewed Captain, retired, former commander of Retrieval Team Zulu, 9A. Retrieval Incident 096, number 096-1A. The captain. It always sucks ass to get initial retrieval duty. You have no idea what the damn thing is capable of, besides what jacked up information the field techies can't scrape up. And you're lucky if they even tell you the whole story. They told us to bag and tag, didn't tell us jack shit about not looking at the damn thing. The doctor says, "Could you describe the mission, please?" Captain says, "Yeah, sorry. We had 2 choppers. One with my team and one with a backup with Zulu 9B. And Dr. Blank. It's a different doctor. We spotted the target about 2 clicks north of our patrol path. I'm guessing he wasn't facing our direction. Else, he would have taken us out then and there." The doctor says, "Your report says SCP-096 didn't react to the cold. It was minus blank Celsius, so it was below 0? That's very, very cold. Below 0 temperatures is cold." The captain says, "Actually, it was below 0, and yes, it was butt naked, and didn't do as much as shiver. Anyway, we landed, approached the target, and Corporal Blank got ready to bag it. That's when Dr. Blank called. I turned to answer it, and that's what saved me. The target must have turned, and my whole squad saw it." Ooh, that's actually crazy. The doctor says, "That's when SCP-096 entered an agitated emotional state." The captain says, "Yep." "Sorry, got the willies for a second." The doctor replies, "That's alright." Captain says, "Yeah. Well, I never saw its face. My squad did, and they paid for it up the ass." Ooh. "Could you describe it a little more, please?" the doctor said. Captain pauses. Yeah. It started screaming at us and crying. Not animal roaring though. Sounded exactly like a person. Really fucking creepy. We started firing when it picked up Corporal Blank and ripped off his leg. God, he was screaming for our help. F&A. Anyway, we were blowing chunks of our target. Round after round. Didn't do jack shit. I almost lost it when it started. Data expunged. The doctor says, "That's when you order to use offend papers and hurt moving." Wait, what the hell is that? Oh, That's when you ordered the use of an AT-4 head launcher. Captain, an anti-tank gun. Started carrying it ever since SCP-096 got loose. I've seen those tear through tanks like tissue paper. Did the same thing to the target. The doctor. There was a significant damage to SCP-096? It seems like they actually were able to damage this thing. Captain said, it didn't even fucking flinch. It kept tearing apart my squad, but with half of its torso gone. Damn, that's crazy. The doctor says, but it was taking damage? The captain replies, if it was, it wasn't showing it. It must have lost all its organs, all its blood, but it didn't acknowledge any of it. Its bone structure wasn't hurt at all, though it kept tearing my squad apart, and this guy is actually traumatized. Crazy. The doctor says, so no actual structural damage. How many rounds would you say were fired at SCP-096? The captain says, at the least, 1,000. Our door gunner kept his GAU-19 on it for at least 20 seconds. 20 freaking seconds. That's 600 .50 caliber rounds pumped into the thing. Might as well been spinning at it. Doctor replies, this is when Zulu 9B arrived. Captain said, yeah, and my squad was gone. Zulu 9B managed to get the bag over its head, and it just sat down. We got it into the chopper and got it here. I don't know how I never saw its face. May God or Buddha or whoever thought I should live. The jackass. The doctor replies, we have obtained an artist's depiction of SCP-096's face. Would you like to view it? The captain pauses for a second. You know, after hearing that thing's screams, and the screams of my men, I don't think I want to put a face to what I heard. No. Just... no. The doctor says, alright, I believe we are done here. Thank you, Captain. The chairs are heard moving, and footsteps leave the room. The captain is confirmed to have left interview room 22. Then the doctor says, let this be on record that I am formally requesting SCP-096 be terminated as soon as possible. That's freaking crazy. And that's SCP-096. Actually is crazy. I kind of think this one's actually horrifying. This SCP is just really horrifying in general. I'm glad that we started off with this one. It's one that I actually knew about. But yeah, technically, you just cannot escape it. Like, if you think about it, you could be under so many, like, feet underwater. Thousands of feet underwater. Under a submarine. If you look at a picture of it, it will go all the way down there and get through the submarine and kill you. It will not stop until it kills you. And the further away you are, the faster it gets. There's actually a couple of videos on YouTube about this SCP. You can just like search it up as SCP-96. And you should be able to see some videos about it. It's actually horrifying. There's also many stories that people make, right? Like fan fiction of SCPs. So I think this one's actually pretty scary. Even at some point, some people made a mod for Lethal Company where you can have this guy, and yes, it's technically the shy guy. You can call him like that, I guess. Yeah, they made a mod for Lethal Company where you actually see this guy, and it's actually freaking scary, because it cries when you look at it. So you can go around without looking at it, but if you manage to look at it, it will cry and make sounds for around 1 to 2 minutes. After the 2-minute mark, it will chase you wherever you are. Even if you already left the ship, right? Usually that's like when you're out and you win the round. It will still follow you. It will still follow you, which is crazy. Now, something that I'm actually curious about this is that I don't think it can fly. So it also has no thinking. So per se, let's say that you are in space and you see a picture of this thing. I don't think this has been tested, but maybe you would be safe. However, you might live whole of your life in space. Because if you manage to set foot on Earth, then you would be dead. What about looking at SCP-096 back? On the back, you should be fine as long as you don't look at its face. Alrighty. Now next up we have... Ooh, that's a big one. SCP-4026. Or 4026. The item number is SCP-4026. Object class: neutralized. Special containment procedures: no containment procedures are necessary at this time. This is my first time hearing about this. Let me drink some water. SCP-4026 is a phenomenon affecting an estimated 100-meter stretch of land of the Beachy Head Chalk Headland in East Sussex, England. In order to activate an SCP-4026 event, a single subject must approach an affected area with suicidal intent. Upon coming within 5 meters of the cliff's edge, SCP-4026-1 will manifest and engage the subject. SCP-4026-1 resembles a humanoid of indeterminate age and sex, which possesses minor cognito-hazardous properties. Attempts to capture or describe any aspect of SCP-4026-1 aside from its voice have thus far resulted in failure. Survivors of SCP-4026 events claim to have no memory of interacting with SCP-4026-1, but are able to recall being dissuaded from ending their lives via unexplained means, typically sitting an overabundance of negative emotion and disgust at their actions. SCP-4026-1 will demanifest when its target is no longer within 5 meters of it. 93% of recorded SCP-4026 events result in the activating subject's survival. Addendum 4026-1 on this is July 7th, 2019. 1 Elliot Snyder, male, age 32, approach a hidden
4026 observation area and triggered the anomaly. Notably, this was the first instance in which an SCP-4026 event lasted longer than 5 minutes. Below is a transcribed log of Schneider's interaction with SCP-4026-1. Okay. SCP-4026. Lovely view, isn't it? Schneider says. Bloody hell. Where did you come from? SCP-4026. I'm always around these parts. It's good fun. It is. Schneider says. Yeah, right. SCP-4026. You thinking of jumping? That's why most people come here, you know? Schneider says. So what? Are you out here playing guardian angel? I appreciate the gesture, but really, I'd rather not get into it. So just please leave. SCP-4026 says, oh no, I'd rather stay. Have a chit-chat. What do you say? One second. Schneider replies, no. Why do you care so much? SCP-4026 replies, don't worry about it. You married? Schneider says, no. Not since last February. SCP-4026 replies, any kids? Did she take them? Schneider says, yeah, full custody. Took the dog too. Oh damn, that sucks. Took the dog too. SCP-4026 replies, wow, even the dog. Sounds like she really did a number on you. Schneider says, Jesus, mate. Are you trying to get me to fucking jump? SCP-4026. Why, yes. It's why I'm here. Schneider says, holy shit. SCP-4026 replies, it's quite a lovely show, and it's a shame no one else is around to see it. Schneider says, this is how you get your kicks, you sick fuck. SCP-4026 replies, are you planning on putting on a show or not? There's a silence for 30 seconds. Schneider breathing becomes labored before vocalizing in frustration. SCP-26 says, well? Schneider replies, I made up my mind. SCP-4026 says, oh? Will you do it? Schneider replies, only if you answer a question for me first. SCP-4026 says, I typically would refuse, but you look promising. Go for it. Schneider replies, why do you like watching people jump off? SCP-4026 says, no reason. It beats doing nothing. Schneider replies, really? You just like watching people jump off these cliffs? Simple as that? SCP-4026 says, were you expecting some great complicated answer? It really doesn't get any more complicated than that. No, go on then. I've waited long enough. Schneider replies, fuck you. SCP-4026 says, yes, fuck me and all that now. Okay. There are sounds of a scuffle between the two for 15 seconds until only Schneider labored breathing is audible. SCP-4026 screams. There is a distant thought followed by silence, interrupted only by Snyder's breathing. Snyder says, Shit! The police are going to fucking kill me! And that's the end of the log. Now, that's a freaky SCP, not gonna lie. That's a freaky SCP. I did not expect that one. Ooh, okay. This one's a little different. The next one up is actually a little different. Let me copy and paste this, send it to you guys. The next one is item number 5260. Containment class Euclid. Level 2 restricted. Disruption class VLAM or VLAM. Risk class Caution. Special containment procedures to prevent an uncontainable expansion of SCP-5260's area of influence when left isolated. Testing is to be conducted at least once every 3 days. Wrong link? Oh, yeah, you're right. That's the wrong link. Sorry. It's this one. My bad. SCP-5260 is kept in a standard container in Site 33, no less than 50 meters away from any site personnel. Any sleep within 30 meters of SCP's 5260's current location is prohibited. Any individual who fall asleep for any period of time within 30 meters of SCP's 5260 between testing periods is to be held under observation for 72 hours. SCP-5260 is removed from storage 3 to 4 times per week and placed by the sleeping quarters of the primary infected subject, D919454. This person is to then sleep in their quarters for no less than 6 consecutive hours with tranquilizers. Tranquilizers 9, I believe, dream wine, to be administered if necessary. D919454 is required to submit reports to the lead researcher on all interactions with SCP-5260-1, following the template used in prior containment procedures. Any deviation of D919454 personality or the occurrence of insomnia must be reported to the lead researcher immediately. In this event, prior containment procedures will be reinstated, while D919454 is profiled. Here is a description of SCP-5260. So, SCP-5260 is a green and black bookmark. Yeah, it's a bookmark. Approximately 15 centimeters in length. SCP-5260 is made from common craft materials, with the exception of a string connected to the end. This was made using human hair belonging to Beatrice Blank from Northeast Wisconsin, who died in November of 2002. And yeah, by the way, if you didn't know, SCP are not just like living entities or like, you know, monsters. And they could also be objects, items. You could probably say that even in a microwave is an SCP. And I think there's actually an SCP that's a microwave. There actually is one. Let's see. For each night SCP-5260 is not exposed to a subject, the area of influence doubles. The unconfirmed upper range of its influence is 17.5 kilometers. Sorry. For some reason I read that completely wrong. 1 second. The stuffy nose is like not letting me talk properly. As demonstrated prior to containment, if SCP-5260's area of influence reaches any number of subjects, this gradually diminishes down to 3 meters multiplied by the number of individuals. Affected subjects will continuously attempt to stay within its area. Exposed subjects experience the following effects. Nights 1 to 3, subjects report a recurring dream that is unusually memorable, tailored to a situation that the subject has an emotional connection to. This dream is usually innocuous. Documented examples include subject relives an enjoyable evening in their childhood home, and subject relaxing in a rowboat tied near shore. Nights 4 to 7. Subjects report to dream quickly, becomes unsettling and upsetting. Documented examples include the evening from the subject's childhood becoming infused with paranoia that the house is under siege from an unidentifiable threat. Subject vividly recounted family members standing back to back in the center of the house main room, holding knives for self-defense. Subject's rowboat drifts steadily from shore with ineffective, frantic efforts to return. But that's not all. There's more. Nights 8 to 10 or more. Subjects report an entity appears, henceforth known as SCP-5261. SCP-5261 has been identifiable from subject to subject, as it is the sole cause of any sort of beneficial effect within the dream. Notably, some aspect of this benefit is retained by the dreamer on waking. D10086 reported that SCP-5261 took the form of a feisty old woman who picked up a broom and chased off some dogs outside, then admonished the family for getting themselves wrapped up in such a tizzy. D10086 reported diminished anxiety overall on waking, and later demonstrated unprecedented leadership ability during a severe containment breach. I love your voice, Lucy. Oh, thank you. Even though I'm sick. D32245 reported that SCP-5261 took the form of an albatross. While D32245 did not reach shore, he felt he was going in the right direction and making progress. Upon waking, subject reported to have a better metaphorical sense of direction, claiming they were more certain of what to do next and how to achieve it. Subject did not provide further details. So it kind of seems like this SCP gives you dreams, but then nightmares, but then enhances your physical abilities once you wake up. When SCP-5260... Oh, that hit my nose. Wait. 1 second. There we go. When I said 60, it like hit my nose, like the phlegm, and I was like, I can't talk. Okay. Yeah. When SCP-5260 manifests, the exposed subject is considered infected. Subjects at this stage universally report sincere gratitude towards SCP-5261 for its assistance. Attachment towards SCP-5260 and SCP-5261 increases over time, and in many cases reaches obsession, with the subject refusing to or unable to sleep without SCP-5260 present. In 15% of all cases, subjects resort to desperate measures to stay within its area of influence even when detained, with attempts to scratch through a cell wall with their fingernails being documented. This is either a result of the affection for SCP-5261 or a desire to avoid the effects after separation. Upon separation occurs if any infected subject is not re-exposed to SCP-5260 within 72 hours of last exposure. When separated, subject's dreams return to the pre-SCP-5260-1 status, with a rapid change to increasingly harmful and horrifying circumstances. In the case of D10086, the subject reported that, in the dreams of their childhood home, they had hidden themselves in the closet and watched as their family tried and failed to fight off a monster. Subject refused to provide further details. Since separation from SCP-5260, D10086 has exhibited severe and worsening homophobia, to the point where the sight of blood induces hysteria. Subject experienced profound insomnia. Damn. Homophobia? No, Homophobia. You're so silly. In the case of D32245, subject reported that they were now in a lifeboat with no sight of land. Subject initially reported experiencing dreams in real time. Successive dreams lasted for increasing periods. Furthermore, after waking, the subject's physical appearance exhibited symptoms of long-term exposure to the elements, including dehydration, heat stroke, and shock. treatment was unable to fully relieve subject's symptoms. Subject experienced profound insomnia 9 days after D919454 replaced D32245 as the subject on rotation. D32245 made a spontaneous recovery. There's a discovery though that they've made. SCP-5260, which is 5260, was discovered in 2011 in the town of Blank, Wisconsin, in a storage unit registered under the Blank family. I guess maybe for these, I wish I could like just replace the names with like something, whatever. But sometimes like I feel like I'd be dumb. I could say the town of, I don't know, the town of Lucien. But that would be silly. And then register under the Whitmore family. I guess that could work, right? It's a bit confusing, but yeah, Blank. Let's just say Blank family. Anomalous events were brought to the Foundation's attention after a field agent at the local police station reported suspected anomalous activity and an abrupt and unprecedented increase in the number of breaking and entering cases. Centering around the storage location. After Foundation personnel were dispatched and anomalous events in the town were mapped out, SCP-5260 was found in the exact center of cases, down to the very corner of the storage unit. A cover story for the anomalous activity was disseminated through the local newspaper, and SCP-5260 was taken into Foundation custody for testing. The corpse of an unidentified individual was found inhabiting a neighboring storage unit, having passed away within 2 weeks of discovery. No relation to SCP-5260 has been uncovered. This inhabitant has been deemed a coincidence that prevented the rapid expansion of SCP-5260's influence for a period of time. The Blank family that the storage unit was registered under had relocated to New Mexico. When located and questioned, none of the family were able to provide physical descriptions of Beatrice Blank, details of her last known whereabouts, or any useful information whatsoever about her life after review. After review, this lack of information was conclusively determined to be non-anomalous. Okay, there's an interview. It's not that long. Works kind of better. Makes you feel you're reading top class info. Yeah, kind of. I mean, this is like a lot. This is a lot. There's an addendum of 5260. 1. Team, I've applied to give D919454 nightly access to SCP-5260. Contingent on exemplary behavior and a requirement for him to continue sleeping in separate quarters. Given how this seems to be a low-risk way to simplify containment, I expect it to go through soon. Also, I've been asked if this can be classified as neutralized. I doubt it. I am keeping prior containment procedures on record, and I recommend you all keep them fresh in your head. Because D919454 won't be around forever, and since problems stop when he arrived, problems could return when he's gone. I'd like to think Betty will take his granddad's advice and be content. But we'll see. For now, when he's on duty, you are not to wake D919454 for anything but the most pressing emergency situations. Otherwise, let them dream. Any questions? Let me know. Dr. Lee. Crazy. Dum Dum, thank you so much for the Moomba. Welcome, welcome. This one's actually like a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster of emotions. Like, clearly it's a bad SCP. It gives you like some type of how do you say, like some type of pseudo like drug state, addiction, right? That causes obsession and increase in your abilities if you keep taking it. But once you stop, it gets worse. So yeah, it costs your sanity. So you're just technically trapped. You're trapped in it. Regardless of the outcome, it's always bad. Obsession? Yeah, you would do anything. Even break your nails and try to get out of your cage to try to get close to this SCP is obsession. It's actually kind of crazy. Now, until the next one. The next one, actually a low number. It's a low number compared to the one that we just read. It makes you depending on it. It does. The next one is an SCP-158. Or 158. The object class is a Euclid. It's Euclid. Special containment procedures. SCP-158 is installed in Operating Theater 07 in Bioresearch Area 12. The link? Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Personnel are not allowed in, nor is power to be supplied to the room, unless they have submitted and had approved a proper clearance requisition from form to the Chief of Research, Professor Blank. Personnel wishing to use the device must request and read the entire transcribed instruction manual in full. During the device's use, 2 armed guards are to remain on standby outside the room at all times. In the event of an accident, all power must be cut to the room instantly, and guards are to examine the room carefully for any signs of misconduct. Misconducts will be punished in a manner decided by the Chief of Research on a case-by-case basis. Interesting. Let's see. The description of this SCP. SCP-158 is a large mechanical arm. Okay. I see. Similar to one that one might find in an automotive. Is that how you pronounce that? Maybe. In an automotive factory. Although the end attachment is unusually shaped, resembling a pointed tridactyl claw. Its optimal placement is to be installed and suspended upside down. Its base attached to the ceiling in a room that has been built to accommodate. A series of cables are protruding from the base, and some are connected to a complex mobile console, complete with VDU, Visual Display Unit, and full keyboard. The others should be connected to a working power supply if the device is to be operated successfully. At the bottom of the console, there is a dispensing device with attachments for a container roughly 7.6 centimeters or 3 inches in width and 17.8 centimeters or 7 inches in height. The arm, cables, and console have sustained fire damage. Though this is purely cosmetic and does not affect the device's performance. When activated, the device will take 20 minutes to boot up and become fully functional. When used correctly upon a living organism that displays cognition, SCP-158 will remove an unknown substance and transfer it through the dispensing device beneath the console. The optimum container for this substance is a glass jar or beaker that fits the attachments. After this action is performed, the organism that it was performed on will cease all higher brain functions, with the only activity in the brain stem continuing. The subject will not respond to external stimuli and will not exhibit any movement beyond basic reflex actions. The substance removed is gaseous, though its overall appearance and properties differ from subject to subject. The substance is an indefinite source of kinetic, electrical, heat, and light energy, although the rate and output, again, differ from subject to subject. The average is relatively low. The device was found in late 2007 in blank within a burned-out hospital that had been in apparent diffuse for a large, discernible period of time. Rough estimations would put it over 5 years. Along with the device was a badly damaged owner's manual, which contained instructions on how to use the device. These instructions have since been transcribed and copied numerous times, with a single copy always present in the containment room. While the instructions clearly state how to maintain and use the device, the chapters chronicling who built it and what exactly it did were too badly damaged to be read, requiring a process of trial and error to find it. Additional notes: the device is also capable of reversing the extraction, placing the same or a different substance back into the subject. When this action is performed, the subject will regain all cognitive and higher brain functions, but the total results differ, depending on whether or not it was the original substance extracted from the patient that was replaced. Addendum 1. Dr. Blank suggested experimentation with D-Class personnel and electronic equipment to attempt to reproduce SCP-168, SCP-1875, and SCP-2306, or similar phenomena. Addendum 1A. Inspired by the previous addendum, Regulator Blank has hit on the ingenious notion of using SCP-158 on a test subject, then exposing the body to SCP-217 until the virus runs its course, and finally re-injecting the contents back into the transmogrified body. Blank and Blank are extremely excited about this proposal and have arranged a meeting with all 12 of the Blank to discuss the far-reaching benefits of such a technique. There's like some weird stuff going on there. It's got a lot of mentions of other SCPs that we don't know about. But it's technically kind of like trying to clone other SCPs, like reproduce, right? Into like other people. So it's like actually like human experimentation. And these people are definitely not good people. Hope you're having fun reading at least. Well, it does have some crazy words, not gonna lie. Is it okay for you to read about SCP-3008? I already have a couple of them lined up. I don't think I have that one though. I requested the Lunarists yesterday to submit them, so I have a couple of them lined up here, and it might be actually a lot. You're actually doing well. You haven't mispronounced anything that I've heard. I think I have. Like, I'm not the best reader, but you know, I'm trying here. Thankfully, you guys can also read with me, but there are definitely some words that even I don't understand, and I'm just trying to like pronounce them. So yeah. Next one is SCP-152. Yeah, at first kilometer I said like kilometer. SCP-152. Object class safe. Seems to be safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-152 is to be kept in a locked chamber in Site-49, henceforth referred to as the Reading Room. The Reading Room is off-limits to personnel below Clearance Level 2. The Reading Room will be equipped with one ceiling lamp, one security camera, one scanner copier printer, to be restocked with paper and ink as needed, one standard office chair, and one standard office desk upon which SCP-152 will rest. When not in use, SCP-152 is to be turned to its last page, so that any additions made to it can be immediately observed. A single guard will be posted outside of the reading room to deter unauthorized persons from entering the reading room. All personnel are advised to remain quiet if they are near the reading room. So it's like a library kind of thing. The description: SCP-152 is a large, hardbound book with leather bindings. The paper inside resembles vellum and is written upon in black ink. The contents of the book consists entirely of a series of entries that describe apocalyptic events, which are not always XK class end-of-the-world scenarios, but invariably deal with the extinction of humanity. The entries are arranged in chronicle order, beginning with an unexplained and spontaneous failure of the sun in 6000 BC and ending with other events close to the present day. Many of the entries describe apocalypses caused or facilitated by objects that are or were in Foundation custody, or are of a paranormal nature. There are also records of human extinction caused by more conventional means, such as nuclear warfare or deadly viral epidemics. Each entry describes in some detail the events leading up to the calamity itself and the aftermath until the point at which the last human on Earth dies. It has been observed that the entries in SCP-152 change to whatever language the reader is most comfortable with, up to the point where the sentence structure can change significantly from reader to reader, or even begin using colloquialisms that only the reader would understand. Only the basic meaning of the entry remains constant. If multiple people are looking at SCP-152, it will read the personal language of whomever began reading first. If no one is directly observing the SCP-152, it will display the language of whomever read it last. Rarely, words will appear in the book that do not translate and instead appears as horizontally arranged calligraphic characters, which have not been matched to any known language. To the best knowledge of Foundation historians, most of the information contained in SCP-152 is accurate, diverging only at the point where the apocalypse occurs. In almost all cases, the difference is that a few key decisions were apparently made differently in SCP-152's version of history, leading ultimately to humankind's annihilation. SCP-152 resists all attempt to change or write in it. Inks, graphite, charcoal, and other marking materials do not adhere to the pages and are easily brushed off. Lasers or other heat sources do not burn into the paper. Close inspection has revealed that foreign substances are stopped from actually coming into contact with the pages. At least 5 micrometers of empty space are always present between the pages themselves and any foreign materials that might come into contact with them. For this reason, SCP-152 does not decay, which also means that it has proven impossible to determine SCP-152's exact age. SCP-152 is self-updating, with newly inked entries and new descriptions of how the last human died, appearing at unpredictable intervals. Always on the last page of the book, the date that a new entry appears. The date that a new entry appears corresponds with the date given in the entry for the death of the last member of the human species. When space becomes an issue, extra pages appear along with the text, and the spine of SCP-152 broadens accordingly. There have been blank updates to the book since it came into the Foundation custody. As with past events, SCP-152 has proven to be up to date on current events until a point at which a catastrophe occurs, because recent entries frequently concern entities of groups of interest to the Foundation, including the Foundation itself. SCP-152 is to be checked regularly for any information of importance. Addendum 1. With the acknowledgement made that letting this thing lie around where the public could find it is dangerous to us, is there any real reason to study it? Outdated hypothetical disaster scenarios aren't our concern. We've got plenty of real ones in the present to deal with. Addendum 2. The book is accurate enough about pre-disaster Earth that it makes a decent guide to the present. Plus, it gives a little perspective on the big picture of what some SCPs could do if they got loose. I think all researchers with clearance out to read the last 50 pages or so just to drive home how important what they do here is. For want of a nail and all that. Addendum 3. Jansen have the entries in the last 50 pages show the Foundation screwing up and killing everybody. That's crazy. Addendum 4. Like I said, it gives a little perspective. Incident Report 152-05. On the night of blank, the security guard on camera duty noticed that SCP-152 was missing from the reading room. However, by the time she had finished reaching for the switchboard to report this, SCP-152 had reappeared, and there was a new entry on the last page, as this was the 5th such occurrence of sudden disappearance and reappearance. A simple test was conducted with a high-speed camera, a sensitive electronic scale upon which SCP-152 was placed, and an alarm set to go off if the weight upon the scale abruptly changed. The next 3 updates to SCP-152 all set the alarm off, and the high-speed camera revealed that SCP-152 vanished from sight for exactly 1 second each time. Addendum 5. I posit that the book isn't actually being updated as such. It's actually being replaced, and each time it changes, we are actually receiving a new edition of it. I would very much like to find out where these are coming from. Damn. Yeah, like new editions of the book. You know, like manga, kinda. Ooh. Oh, this one has an image, okay. Wait, what the hell? Wait, let me check this first. Okay. Awesome. Here we go. Let me post it for you. The next one. This is really fun. Next one is SCP 2316. By order of the Overseer Council, the following file describes a Keter class anomalous cognitohazard and is level 4/2316 classified. Unauthorized access is forbidden. Level 4 secret. Containment class is Keter. Disruption class is Kennek. Risk class danger. Cognitohazard warning. The following file contains images and text that are carriers for anomalous cognitohazardous influences. You do not recognize the bodies in the water. Due to this, it is imperative that all personnel accessing this file be certified as having a cognitive resistance value of no less than 14.5. Should you fail to automated CRV verification, please remain calm and do not move. A member of your site's medical staff will be with you shortly. Please repeat the following phrase slowly and clearly into your terminal microphone. I do not recognize the bodies in the water. Run adjusted tonal variance processor. Verification complete. User CVR is within acceptable range. SCP-2316. Huh. It looks like a island. If you guys can see the images, you know, on the link that I gave you. Don't worry, it's okay, it's safe. Also, let me just reload my chat because it's dead for me. Looks like an island, a forest island. By the way, if you're liking the stream so far, please make sure to like the stream. Leave a like. Yep. Special containment procedures. Under no circumstances are Foundation personnel to approach SCP-2316. Observation of SCP-2316 must only be carried out by remote dummy probes utilizing video and audio recording equipment. Only those personnel adequately rated for exposure to cognitohazardous anomalies may review footage and audio of SCP-2316. The lake in which SCP-2316 is located has been quarantined and fenced off, and is to be routinely patrolled by individuals who have not been exposed to SCP-2316 and have no prior knowledge of its characteristics. You do not recognize the bodies in the water. Individuals who attempt to bypass the enforced quarantine must be apprehended and moved to Site-33 for a full cognitive influence screening. Individuals who come within 50 meters of the lake containing SCP-2316 are to be considered lost. Damn. Okay. Please repeat the following phrase slowly and clearly into your terminal microphone. I do not recognize the bodies in the water. Run adjustable tonal variance processor. Verification complete. User CRV is within acceptable limits. Okay. Description of SCP-2316. SCP-2316 is the designation for anomalous phenomenon existing within a lake within blank county blank. SCP-2316 manifests as a group of human corpses floating in a small group at the surface of the water. The identities of these corpses are cognitohazard removed, though DNA testing has been inconclusive. While SCP-2316 appears to be individuals' instances, it is theorized that SCP-2316 may instead be an entity composed of a collective consciousness. Individual instances of SCP-2316 do not act on their own, but do seem to be able to act collectively as a single unit. The individual instances of SCP-2316 are unrecognizable, and you do not recognize the bodies in the water. SCP-2316 hosts a powerful cognitohazardous effect, causing those who have viewed SCP-2316 are aware of certain parts of its nature, or who were enrolled in the cognitohazard removed, to believe that the individual instances of SCP-2316 are human beings they recognize, typically from their childhood. Attempting to come into contact with SCP-2316 instances by way of entering Lake Plank or touching an instance of SCP-2316 will cause other instances of SCP-2316 to appear. You do not recognize the bodies in the water. The fact that it says that all the time is kind of creepy. The additional instances only serve to reinforce and add to the strength of the cognitohazard, compelling affected individuals into the lake. Individuals who enter the lake in this way are lost, and to date, none have been recovered. Please repeat the following phrase slowly and clearly into your terminal microphone. I do not recognize the bodies in the water. Run adjusted tonal variance processor. Verification incomplete. User CRV is not within acceptable limits. User CRV influenced by active cognitohazard. Please stay still. A member of your site medical staff will be with you shortly. Terminal lockout. Invalid entry. That was part of the interview, so that's not me. That's not us, chat. Next up. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting to the end. How has it been so far? How are you guys dealing with this? I know it might be a little creepy sometimes. The next one up is actually one of the lowest numbers we've had today. SCP-049. It has a picture as well. I really wish most of these had a picture, and you can enhance the picture too. So the object class is Euclid. Are you killing mosquitoes in the background? No. SCP-049 is contained within a standard secure humanoid containment cell in Research Sector 02 at Site 19. SCP-049 must be sedated before any attempts to transport it. During transport, SCP-049 must be secured within a Class 3 humanoid restriction harness, including a locking collar and extension restraints, and monitored by no fewer than 2 armed guards. While SCP-049 is generally cooperative with most Foundation personnel, outbursts or sudden changes in behavior are to be met with elevated force. Under no circumstances should any personnel come into direct contact with SCP-049 during these outbursts. In the event SCP-049 becomes aggressive, the application of lavender has been shown to produce a calming effect on the entity. Once calmed, SCP-049 generally becomes compliant and will return to containment with little resistance. In order to facilitate the ongoing containment of SCP-049, the entity is to be provided with the corpse of a recently deceased animal, typically a bovine or other large mammal, once every 2 weeks for study. Corpses that become instances of SCP-049-2 are to be removed from SCP-049's containment cell and incinerated. SCP-049 is no longer permitted to interact with human subjects, and requests for human subjects are to be denied. Temporary Containment Procedure Update. Per Containment Committee Order 049-S19171, SCP-049 is no longer permitted to interact directly with any members of Foundation staff, nor is it to be provided with any additional corpses to be used in its surgeries. This order shall persist indefinitely, until such time a consensus regarding the ongoing containment of SCP-049 can be reached. Description: SCP-049 is a humanoid entity, roughly 1.9 meters in height, which bears the appearance of a medieval plague doctor. While SCP-049 appears to be wearing the thick robes and the ceramic mask indicative of that profession, the garments instead seem to have grown out of SCP-049's body over time, and are now nearly indistinguishable from whatever form is beneath them. X-rays indicate that despite this, SCP-049 does have a humanoid skeletal structure beneath its outer layer. SCP-049 is capable of speech in a variety of language, though tends to prefer English or medieval French. While SCP-049 is generally cordial and cooperative with Foundation staff, it can become especially irritated, or at times outright aggressive if it feels that it is in the presence of what it calls the pestilence. Although the exact nature of this pestilence is currently unknown to Foundation researchers, it does seem to be an issue of immense concern to SCP-049. SCP-049 will become hostile with individuals it sees as being affected by the pestilence, often having to be restrained should it encounter such. If left unchecked, SCP-049 will generally attempt to kill any such individual. SCP-049 is capable of causing all biological functions of an organism to cease through direct skin contact. Damn! How this occurs is currently unknown, and autopsies of SCP-049's victims have invariably been inconclusive. SCP-049 has expressed frustration or remorse after these killings, indicating that they have done little to kill the pestilence, though will usually seek to them perform a crude surgery on the corpse using the implements contained within a black doctor's bag it carries on its person at all times. While these surgeries are not always successful, they often result in the creation of instances of SCP-049 too. SCP-049-2 instances are reanimated corpses that have been operated on by SCP-049. These instances do not seem to retain any of their prior memories of mental functions, having only basic motor skills and response mechanisms. While these instances are generally inactive, moving very little, and in a generally ambulatory fashion, they can become extremely aggressive if provoked, or if directed by SCP-049. SCP-049-2 instances express active biological functions, though these are vastly different from currently understood human physiology. Despite these alterations, SCP-049 often remarks that the subjects have been cured. Addendum 049-1 Discovery. SCP-049 was discovered during the investigation of a series of unknown disappearances in the town of Montauban in southern France. It's the first time that we actually get a place. You know, the name of the place, the full place. During a raid on a local home, investigators found several instances of SCP-049-2 as well as SCP-049. While law enforcement personnel engaged the hostile 049-2 instances, SCP-049 was noted as watching the engagement and taking notes in its journal. After all of the 049-2 instances were dispatched, SCP-049 willingly entered Foundation custody. The following interview was conducted by Dr. Raymond Ham during the initial investigation. There's actually audio. Let's hear it. Let me hear it first and see if it's okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's hear this audio.
Alors, comment devrions-nous commencer? Une introduction.
Is that French? Can we get a translator?
The King's English. No need for translation, sir. I can speak it well enough.
Good. My name is Dr. Raymond Ham, and I...
Ah, a doctor. A like-minded individual, no doubt. Wherein is your speciality, sir?
Cryptobiology. Why?
A medical man, such as myself. Wonders abound. And here, I worried I had been abducted by common street thugs. This place, then, this is your laboratory. I had wondered, as clean as it is, and with such little trace of the pestilence here.
The pestilence? What do you mean?
The scourge. The great dying. Come now. You know what is it they call it? No matter. The pestilence, yes. It abounds outside these walls, you know. So many have succumbed, and many more will continue to, until such time as a perfect cure can be developed. Fortunately, I am very close. It is my duty in life to rid the world of it, you see. The cure to end all cures.
When you say the great dying, are you talking about the bubonic plague?
I don't know what that is.
I see. Right, well, the entities our agents encountered at the house, they were dead when you encountered them, yes? You reanimated them.
In a manner of speaking, you see things too simply, Doctor. Expand your horizons. Life and death, sickness and health. These are amateur terms for amateur physicians. There is only one ailment that exists in the world of men, and that is the pestilence, and nothing else. Make no mistake, they were very ill. All of them.
You think you cured those people?
Indeed. My cure is most effective.
But the things we recovered were not human.
Yes, well, it is not a perfect cure, but that will come with time, and further experimentation. I have spent a lifetime developing my methods, Dr. Ham, and will spend a lifetime more, if necessary. Now, we have wasted too much time. There is work to do. I will require a laboratory of my own, one where I can continue my research unimpeded. And assistance, of course, though I can provide those on my own. In time.
Oh, I don't think our organization would be willing to...
Nonsense. We are all men of science. Fetch your coat and show me to my quarters, Doctor. Our work begins now.
Wow. That was pretty cool. I really wish a lot of these SCPs had audios. There's actually more. There's actually more to this. Just give me one. This is long. This SCP has a lot of stuff. A lot of audios. So, let's listen to them. Yeah. Let me just, go down. Okay, I have to lower the volume for this. Wait, actually, I can't lower the volume. What the? Wait, that's not good. That might be a little too loud for you guys. Hold on, let me reload the page. There we go. Okay, awesome. This is the one. Let's see. Okay. Let's listen to it.
We've watched you work for several weeks now, and honestly, I'm not sure I understand what you're doing. Could you describe your process in detail?
Oh, goodness no. The process is most intensive. As I said to your assistant, the best instruction you will find about my methods are here, in my journals, as I have kept exhaustive records of my work there.
I see. Well, my concern, Doctor, is that we still don't understand what you're seeking to cure, or how it manifests, or how turning these creatures into quasi-living, mindless drones helps in that effort.
You do not understand the pestilence, even after all this time. Doctor, it is an unspeakable horror, one that has shown its true face many times before, and will again. I find myself blessed with the wisdom and good senses needed to root it out and destroy it. But many, like yourself, cannot. It is a cruel judgment, I fear, to be at the mercy of a disease you cannot fully comprehend.
That still doesn't answer my question. How's your cure any kind of cure at all?
It is a cure. You may laugh at my efforts if you please, but do not besmirch the good name of scientific progress that has developed this great mercy. What you short-sightedly see here is a life better than any this creature could have hoped for. Stricken as it was with the pestilence, this creature is now clean, unable to spread the pestilence, and free from the terror it would have experienced otherwise.
This is hardly a creature at all, Doctor. It's not even...
Do not jape with me, sir. You and your colleagues are like so many others, unable to look past minor setbacks to see the salvation taking place before your very eyes. Do you wait to remove rotten timbers until the whole collapses on top of you? No. You find them and you pull them out and replace them with those untouched by rot. And most of all, you do not simply mock the structure because it now looks different to you. It is strong. It is free of disease.
I'm sorry. Didn't mean to agitate you. I'm just trying to understand.
Yes. Well, do mind your words in the future, Doctor. I am a professional, but even professionals may feel the bite of pride in dealing with criticism of their masterpiece. I will forgive this as an act of good faith between colleagues.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, that will be all. Another test subject on the usual schedule. You know my preference of subjects with more human anatomies.
End of log. Attending researcher's notes. 1 second. SCP-049 does seem to genuinely want to help other humans, though it has not yet been able to provide a concrete example of what exactly it is trying to save us all from. I have watched it now over several weeks, and while the outcomes do not seem to ever change, SCP-049 continues to claim that it is growing closer to its perfect cure. I think the entity may be more aware of the reality of these outcomes than it would like us to think. It's another audio.
I need you to explain yourself. SCP-049, you are being directed to explain your actions, and I will remind you that failure to cooperate will result in further restrictions during your containment.
My actions do not need to be explained.
You killed Raymond Ham, and then butchered him until he...
Not dead. No, not dead. He is cured.
Cured? Cured of what?
The pestilence, sir.
Whoa.
I had thought you, at least, would realize what luck it is I detected it before.
What pestilence? You keep going on and on about this pestilence, but you have not once been able to properly identify this disease. What could you have possibly seen in him today that you had not seen so many times before? That it would be worth his life?
The pestilence presents and progresses in unforeseeable fashions, and has a queer way of creeping into the unprepared. And call it what you want, Doctor. It was a mercy I did to him. He is cured.
He is a vegetable.
I would not expect you to understand. You and your ilk have proven time and time again not to be men of science, but men of emotion. You cannot appreciate the horrors I have seen. Those many millions who have succumbed to the pestilence and been changed.
Your cure cost Ray his life.
No, good sir. I have saved it. You would allow this world to slip back into the despair of disease and death, ignoring that I have created a miracle. And
What disease? What pestilence? He was a healthy man. He was a good doctor.
I'm offering it freely to the afflicted. You are not worth this argument, sir. You are short-sighted and foolish. Dr. Ham was sick, and I cured him. I am the only one who can do this. My work must continue. There is still so much to learn, so much
I've had
to do,
enough of this.
and others
Consider your allowances
can be
revoked.
saved. Even you.
Welcome to Containment
You know,
049.
might be saved.
We're done here.
I can save them all. I can cast down this plague once and for all. I can do this. Only me. I saved him. Dr. Ham. I cured him. He was sick. I know he was sick. I know he was. And you are all sick, but I can save you. I can save all of you because I am the cure.
The following interview is an excerpt from 4/16/17. That is, I believe, March 16th. No, April 16, 2017. 049 incident report. The interview was conducted by Dr. Elijah Itking and took place 3 weeks after the start of the initial investigation.
SCP-049, we are conducting this interview to close out our investigation of your actions taken on April 16th that resulted in the death of a staff member. Do you have any comments to make? Only that I look forward to the day when you will allow me to resume my work. I have spent the last few weeks compiling my notes and constructing a new theory for how the pestilence was able to infect someone in such an insidious manner that I nearly couldn't detect it. Have you experienced any remorse for your actions? For the death of Dr. Ham? Ah, yes. Well, the death of a colleague is always regrettable. But in the face of the pestilence, we must be swift, Doctor, and act without hesitation. Dr. Sherman noted in his report that you seemed to be mournful during your initial interview. Mourn? Perhaps. I had not thought that. It is lamentable that a fellow doctor became infected, but the work continues. Regrettable as it was, Dr. Ham's death provided important insight. Living human subjects are the only way to proceed forward, I am decided. My cure is of little use on dead flesh, and I have gleaned all I can from your generous supply of corpses. My desires turn towards tending to those still living who suffer from the disease. I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed. Oh, Doctor. I wouldn't be so sure.
Damn. And there's a couple more things, but they're more like notes. So you can read them on your own. But damn. This this SCP is very fleshed out. I guess it's probably one of the most popular ones. Guess it probably is one of the most popular ones. I mean, it has a lot of story. It has audios, you know, of the interviews. I really wish the other ones also had something like this. I think it would be really, really cool. This one's crazy. The Plague Doctor. There's a lot of fanart of this guy. Damn. I bet there is. I bet there's a lot of people thirsting over this guy. Now the next one's actually pretty cool. It's a story. It's a story from one of the Lunarists. Let me actually check it out. Give me 1 second. Let me see. It was by by Starfox. This is not an SCP, so I'm not gonna be linking it. Like it's not from the SCP wiki. So this is a story from a Lunarist called Starfox. Starts by, everyone knows about the monster under the bed. The one that lies in wait. Red eyes, wide open, searching for movement, for prey. The one that snatches away little children staying up too late. The one who turns the sweetest dream into nightmares with oozing breath. It smells like something left out to rot, like something sugary and burned, decomposed and gone sour. Precautions may be taken. Closets rumbling shut, doors closed, sparkling nightlights casting glows through dark bedrooms. But that doesn't mean there won't be. There won't be glimpses of fleeting, horrifying of the monster. Red eyes reflected in the mirror, scratches dragged across the floor, hot exhales in sleeping ears. It's the reason that children are scared of the dark, the reason that they lie in their bed in fear, trembling in their blankets, wrapped tightly with not a single limb exposed to cold air, watching shadows creep, the air grow colder as the night rushes by. A slow shuffling amplified by the silence of the night, children quivering and clutching their stuffed animals, squeezing tiny eyes shut, petrified by a fear of something that is just as afraid. The monster, or rather, it's who has been called a monster for all eternity, all of life. It's trapped in a locked room, bearing witness to the soulless imitation of childhood, to lonely nights and dark, frightening unknowns. It has good reasons to be afraid of parents, of smells, sweet, syrupy, saccharine, of words, cutting, agonizing, never forgotten, of smiles, leaving much to be desired, of voices, high and low and painfully human. Too human. But at what point does a human become a monster? At the apathy? The lack of concern? Of compassion? The self-importance? Narcissism? Neglect of others? Everyone knows about the monster, but the monster is not the reason that those children are gone. No, it is simply a witness. Each death threatening a fear of humankind. Monsters are just easier to blame. Wow, that's deep.
That's actually deep. Holy frick. It's a good story, though. It's a really good story. Okay. We are to our last 3 SCPs of the day. By the way, this is pretty fun. Maybe, you know, maybe we can do this again in the future. But just don't forget to like. Let me know if you really like this kind of stream. I think it's pretty cool, and we could definitely do it again in the future. You know, there's so many SCPs to read. I think it would be cool. I don't think I'll ever be able to cover all of the SCPs though. There's 10,000s, more than thousands. It would need 1,000 streams, but hey, we're gonna be here for the next 100 years, so maybe we can. The next one, actually, it's very interesting. This one's a little different than the usual. Item number restricted per protocol 4000 issue. Object class Keter. Has an image as well. Native humanoid entity manifesting mid-air. Special containment procedures. The extra-dimensional location described below, as well as the entities and landmarks contained therein, are nomenclative hazards, issue class, and therefore may not be referred to by any name, title, or designation. Only descriptions may be used when referring to the forest outside normative space and native entities thereof. Variations must be made in these descriptions each time a subject is described. Descriptions may be color-coded for clarity, and fluid language may be used for the sake of nomenclative diversity. Now, if you will excuse me, give me 1 second. In the event of a nomenclative containment breach, standard issue class recontainment protocol must be carried out immediately by the individual responsible for the breach. If the individual is rendered unable to perform the procedure, the responsibility falls to the individual's next of kin. So I can barely even see you guys. There you go. If the individual responsible for the breach has no known next of kin, the individual's name must be expurgated from all existing documents and records. Any other individual possessing the same name are to be administered Type G viral amnestics and assigned a new one. In accordance with Order 05-4000-F26, at least one successful expedition into the strange and dangerous woodland area must be carried out per year to assess any deviations from baseline abnormality. Due to the high risk involved in entering the place where the nameless are found, personnel sent in to conduct research must be trained in standard exploration protocol as detailed in 4000 SEP. Unauthorized documentation of the forest found in chimneys must be suppressed via standard information containment protocol. Unauthorized individuals with knowledge of procedure 5000 Holloway are to be administered amnestics and may be released following a period of disquisitional rehabilitation. Description: the SCP in question is an extra-dimensional forested area with numerous anomalous qualities, including a hazardous nomenclative phenomenon. This anomalous location is accessed by performing 4000 Holloway. After completing the procedure, subjects emerge from the opening of a dilapidated brick well fixed into the forest floor.
I'm not gonna lie, chat, I don't understand any of that. So, good luck. Thank God you can read with me. The only way to reliably traverse the unusual terrain is by use of a single dirt path. Exploration that diverged from said route have resulted in immediate loss of contact with participating subjects. The sole safe road may only be traversed in a single direction, and any attempt by subjects to turn back and return the way they came will result in similar loss of contact. The unnamed world does not adhere to the constraints of linear space. Cartographic endeavors have resulted in vastly different routes being recorded with each expedition, and sections of the mandatory trial, which should logically overlap or intersect, do not. The only consistency in the layout is the access point, which is always located at both ends of the main road. The only way for a subject to safely exit the woods which have no name, after they have begun following it, is by walking its entire length and returning to the place where they began, at the opposite end. A variety of anomalous entities native to the nameless habitat have been documented. Native entities often undergo changes in physical structure when unobserved, which has made it difficult for researchers to determine which recorded entities are unique beings and which are newer iterations of those previously documented. Entities claim they have control over these changes and frequently express dissatisfaction when they occur. Native entities often obstruct the trail which subjects tread. The trail which subjects tread, making it necessary for subjects to interact with them to progress. Native entities are sapient and often highly temperamental, but can be interacted with safely as long as 4,000 set precautions are followed. Consequences for disregarding these precautions will vary depending on the personality of the offended entity. Degrees of retribution encountered by research subjects have included verbal rebuke, acts of violence, and anomalous alterations of the subject's physical, conceptual, and nomenclative attributes. There's a lot of nerd words that I don't understand. Various anomalous phenomena may occur when consistent nomenclature is applied to the realm of unnameable, its native entities, or its landmarks. These phenomena are still poorly understood, partially due to the prohibition of nomenclative experimentation under Order 05-4000 F26. Documented nomenclative phenomena have included episodic cluster headaches among subjects exposed to affected nomenclature, visual and auditory hallucinations among exposed subjects, usually involving environments or entities described by nomenclature, gustatory hallucinations, and phantosmia have also been reported in a small subset of cases. Sudden onset of psychogenic amnesia among exposed subjects. The development of non-human physical characteristics among exposed subjects, such as feathers and pollen sacs. The development of biological components and non-biological mediums where nomenclature is written or recorded. Suddenly involuntary transport of exposed subjects to the wilderness of unnamed things without the use of Procedure 4000 Holloway. Manifestation of various flora within indoor spaces where nomenclature was used. Saddened a sudden transport of native entities to areas where nomenclature was used. Biological fusion of exposed subjects and native entities. Biological fusion of native entities and architectural spaces where nomenclature was used. Extreme iron deficiency in exposed subjects, with an absence of expected negative side effects. Order 05-4000F26 was ratified by the Overseer Council in 1954. A 1970 amendment requires that 05-4000F26 receive anonymous endorsement from the Council every 10 years in order to remain in effect. To date, no Overseer memos regarding 05-4000F26 have been disseminated to lower clearances levels. There's a lot to read here. Actually, there's actually a lot to read here. There's just logs, and it explains the 4000 Holloway and the 4000 SEP. So let's do the 4000 Holloway. 4000 Holloway. The following is censored list of instructions for accessing the Horizon Beyond levels. Certain steps have been omitted in this version of this document. Phrases and counterphrases at the end of the procedure will differ depending on the subject's type category. The oldest child in their family, type 1, the middle-born, type 2, or the youngest/only child, type 3. 1. Using organic kindling, starting a steady flame within an indoor fireplace. 2. Combine the powder bones of a male red fox, an adult male lion, and a baleen whale. Cast the mixture into the fire. 3. Take an easily burned personal possession of strong sentimental value and allow the fire to consume it. 4. Carefully release 3 feathers from any black-plumed bird of the genus Corvus over the fire and allow the smoke to carry them up the flue. 5. If the fire begins to emit vocalizations, respond with the appropriate counterphrase. Phrase. These woods have rules. Counterphrase. Or so they say. Phrase. And if you break them, counterphrase. A price I'll pay. That's for variant 1. For variant 2, phrase. Is someone there? Counterphrase. There's only me. Phrase. And who are you? Counterphrase. I guess you'll see. For variant 3, we have phrase. What do you seek? Counterphrase. To walk the trees. Phrase. Now, mind your manners. Counterphrase. To walk them, please. And that's how to access the place. If the correct statements are given, the fireplace will expand and the ladder will descend. The fire will be harmless. 7. If incorrect statements are made for any reasons, immediately apologize and do not attempt procedure 4000 Holloway again at any point in the future. Note: individuals who are present during procedure 4000 Holloway but were not the one conducting procedure 4000 Holloway must not respond to vocalizations or approach the active fireplace under any circumstances. And now we have 4000 SEP. Note: the following is a truncated list containing only instructions that are crucial to survival. Personnel assigned to explorative duties must also familiarize themselves with 4000 SEP 3 through 8 before embarking. General guidelines for exploration. 1. You must be equipped with a standard Foundation expedition pack prior to entering the place where names are not allowed. 1.2. Do not consume any food other than the rations included inside the standard Foundation expedition pack. 1.3. Do not bring firearms into the dimension of trees under any circumstances. 1.4. Type 1 subjects must avoid accepting or directly handling that which could be considered a valuable resource. This includes, but is not limited to, forms of currency, precious metals, and stones. Objects imbued with useful, anomalous properties, and well-crafted weaponry. 1.5. Type 2 subjects must avoid any native entities that regard the subject with affection or romantic attraction. Oh my god, they have a romance route. Crazy. Must not give the appearance of reciprocating these feelings in any way. Statements made by a native entity which profess affection or romantic attractions for a type 2 subject are false. Oh, did I mute myself? My bad. I'm good. I'm good now. No, apparently I muted myself on accident. Where was I? Did you guys hear 1.6? I don't know how long I've been muted for. Oh, 1.5? Wow, I haven't muted for a long time. So, did I read all of 1.5? Type 2? Type 2? Okay, 1.6. Type 3 subjects must avoid partaking in activities that are commonly considered frivolous, luxurious, or physically comforting. This includes, but is not limited to, dancing, smoking, playing with toys, drinking, anything other than water, listening to music, and sleeping on a padded surface. Yeah. 1.7. Structures encountered along the way you must travel may be entered after knocking at the entryway. Leave the structure from where you came. If entering uninvited, do not be discovered. 1.8. If you fall asleep in the woods where rules are paramount, record your dreams. A journal is included in your expedition pack. If you encounter any landmarks or entities similar to a dream you recorded, treat the dream as a fact. And that's that. Yeah. That's crazy. This is like some sort of backrooms or something. Kind of crazy, not gonna lie. Wait, what the hell is this? Oh, okay, this one's actually crazy. Let's go to the next SCP, semi to last. It's SCP 4335. It says, I'll give you guys a link soon, but it says, warning, containment procedures are constantly revised in accordance with each update and change to the software that contains SCP-4335. This is to prevent sudden breach of containment due to SCP-4335 operating under a different set of rules. This file also contains description of latent cognitohazardous phenomena. Access to this file requires permission from the current lead researcher. You have been warned. And then there's a link to it. Is that Minecraft? Is that Minecraft? Hold on a minute. SCP-4335, Level 4, Classified, Object Class, Keter. Special Containment Procedures. The server in which SCP-4335 is contained has had its original inhabitants removed and amnesticized, and Site M1 has been constructed as SCP-4335's location. Site M1 consists of several rooms filled with vital materials needed to contain SCP-4335. Chests filled with books that contain SCP-4335's containment procedures. Several animal farms for the breeding and the killing of animals for their food. The entrance to a mine. Chests filled with books that contain information to civilians in the event that SCP-4335's containment staff are compromised and they manage to join the server. Okay, so it is like a Minecraft server actually. SCP-4335's containment area. Currently, SCP-4335 containment area consists of 3 hollow cubes, with the outermost cube being 75x75x75 blocks, the inner cube being 55x55x55 blocks, and the inner more cube being 25x25x25 blocks. So there's 3 layers. All of these cubes are to be constructed out of iron blocks. Interesting. The outermost cube is completely filled with water, and several dispensers capable of rapidly dispensing large amounts of items in a short amount of time line the cube. The inner cube has 4 mob farms. Each mob farm consists of 2 levels, the upper level and the lower level, which are both measured at 8x8x2 each. Each mob farm has a single dummy account, 25 blocks above it to keep it operating and allowing it to function indefinitely. The upper level is at a low light level to allow the spawning of monsters, and has water placed on each block at the edge of the room. A 5x5 hole has been created in the floor to allow water and monsters to fall into the lower level. This is... wait, hold on. Chat, do I really have to go through a Minecraft thing? This is a lot. This is a lot. This is a lot, like, description of, like, how it's built in Minecraft. Let's skip this. Let's see. Description. There you go. Thank you. SCP-4335 is an anomalous entity residing within the extremely popular survival game Minecraft. Crazy. Created by Swedish video game designer Marcus Persson and later developed by Mojang Studios. SCP-4335 has certain anomalous properties, but otherwise behaves as an entity within the game. SCP-4335 itself resembles a normal player model, and its entire body is black in color. SCP-4335 is capable of moving at approximately 0.5/5 blocks per second, but will not move at all a majority of the time. If command blocks, creative mode, or server commands are ever enabled in a server with SCP-4335, the server will instantly shut down, and SCP-4335 will move to a different server. SCP-4335 is almost completely covered in a thick cloud of smoke particles and an unknown number of tendrils that protrude from the entity. These tendrils will occasionally patrol the area around SCP-4335. When any block/item is within 5 blocks length of SCP-4335, the nearest tendril will instantly destroy the block/item. SCP-4335 will strike the block/item that is closest to it. After this, SCP-4335 will curl the tendrils into the smoke for 10 to 15 seconds and then return to its original location. This process prevents SCP-4335 from moving. It has been revealed that SCP-4335 analyzes and consumes the block/it destroyed. Once the block/item has been consumed, SCP-4335 will grow in size by an amount equal to the rarity of the object it destroyed. If SCP-4335 reaches 500 blocks in size, it will leave its current server and will manifest in a random single-player/multiplayer server while still retaining its size. Changing servers every 50 blocks. However, if SCP-4335 is continuously fed blocks/items before it is finished, it will never grow in size. If an Ender Pearl is thrown at SCP-4335 while its size is increased, it will begin to shrink until it's back to its original size. SCP-4335 is a Virgin-class multisensory cognitohazard. Viewing SCP-4335 without protective measures will cause auditory and visual hallucinations. More information regarding this can be found within document 3613777CH or within SCP-4335's initial recovery log. Additionally, SCP-4335 is capable of telepathic speech with humans whose player characters are nearby it. And it is capable of hearing subjects in the physical world, despite being within a video game. Amendum 2531999. SCP-4335 was discovered on July 5th, 2010, nearly a week after the official launch of Minecraft Alpha version. SCP-4335 manifested within a single-player world, being played by user Leaking Heart. The following is the initial contact logged by Mobile Task Force Edna-84 and thus upon his crucible. Members A1 is called Richard Duchamp, A2 is Jason Yeltsin, and A3 is Shayla Freemanson. Richard says, "Alright everyone, potentially cognitohazardous entities residing within this game, nothing we can't handle." Shayla says, "Yeah, can't be worse than any of the other video game anomalies." Oh, there's more. Interesting. Richard says, "Anyway, start the game." Jason, "Yep." Each person logs into the game and uses developer tools in order to join the server SCP-4335 is located on without the need to host a server. Shayla says, "Man, they weren't kidding." Richard says, Yeah, save the jokes for later. We need to locate the entity. Get going." The team searches the nearby area for signs of SCP-4335. Eventually, they discover a house constructed near the ocean. Shayla says, "I assume." Jason replies, "Yes, this should be the player's house." And Richard says, most definitely. Talk to him. Is he still online?" A2 attempts to talk to the inhabitant of the world. Account 2. "Hey, Leaking Heart, where are you?" Several seconds pass. Leaking Heart types, "Who the fuck are you? How did you get here?" Richard says, "Make up some sort of excuse about not knowing how you got here." Account 2. "Well, me and my friends were trying to join a server, but we noticed that you were already in this one." Leaking Heart says, "This is a single-player server. How the hell?" Account 2. "Never mind that. We're finding a creature of sorts that should have landed here. Leaking Heart says, "What are you talking about?" Account 1. "We heard rumors that a mythical beast of sorts was added into Minecraft with the new update. Have you seen it?" Several seconds pass. Account 1. "Hello?" Jason says, "He left." Richard replies, "Looks like it." A loud explosion is heard east of the team's current location, originating from the game, from in-game audio. Richard, "This way." The team rapidly makes their way towards the explosion, grabbing several dirt blocks on their way. This is so funny. Shayla, "Remember, limit observation." The team arrive at a forest biome, where they spot a large crater in the distance. What was this guy's name again? Let me go back and see. Jason. Okay, Jason. Jason, if the explosion is anything to go by, it's in the crater. Secure perimeter. The team begins to place dirt blocks around the crater to act as a fence and block the hole completely with dirt without looking into it. Shayla says, "The entity should be down there." Richard, "It's probably a good idea to get settled in and get resources before testing the entity and figure out how we gonna permanently contain it." Then they say, "Alright." Extraneous information expunged. A small wooden building has been erected near the site, equipped with several chests filled with iron ore, cobblestone, and various wooden tools. A furnace currently cooking raw beef, and a window overlooking the crash site. Richard says, "I'm going to have a quick peek at the entity to see if it's still down there." Jason, "Wait, Richard." Before A2 can say more, A1 breaks a single block and looks down into the pit. He becomes startled at first. I need to... Fuck, he's gone. Help me! A2 and A3 attack A1, attempting to move them away to a different location, but A1 keeps attempting to go into the hole. "Why are you guys..." Jason says, "Get away from there. You're hallucinating. It's Coghaz." "What?" A1 moves away from the pit successfully. A1 looks at his keyboard in confusion. Shayla says, "Okay, if we put you under quarantine, you'll be Richard, "Guys, what the fuck? I'm pressing buttons and I'm stuck staring at the hole." A1 continuously presses random buttons on his keyboard, all of them moving his game character sporadically. A2 unplugs A1's computer. Shayla says, "Is this a technical issue? It was moving fine on my end." Richard says, "No, the game's still running fine." Fuck. A1 continues to press buttons. "What the? My keyboard is corroding. Can you confirm?" A2 and A3, "Negative." Richard says, "What the screen? It's melting too. It's melting like wax. Oh god." A2 says, "Security!" Security enters a room and grab A1 and bring him into a nearby room. That's basically how that goes. Let's see. Addendum 3366142. Once A1 was placed under quarantine, Jason Yeltsin became the leader researcher regarding SCP-4335's containment. The following is an attempt at communication upon initial containment, which consisted of a large chamber filled with lava. Jason Yeltsin communicated with SCP-4335 and recorded SCP-4335's speech after the conversation. Jason, "Hello? SCP-4335? The entity is silent for several seconds. SCP-4335, are you speaking to me? Yes, I am. Are you humanity? Me? Well, no. But I am a representative of it. Perfect. It worked. This is the correct location. Yes? I do not know what you mean. Where I am supposed to fall. This is Earth. Yes? Jason and SCP-435 are both silent for several seconds. Jason says, "Not exactly." Explain. You are humanity, are you not? You're in a video game. You're in something humans play for fun. Video game. Fun. Yes. Several seconds pass. I must think about this for a while. SCP-435 was granted approximately 15 hours to itself before it wished to speak again. Hello again? Hello, says Jason. So, humans are a species of sapience and greed. They play little devices that simulate a world unlike their own, to escape the harsh reality of their own. This is correct, yes? Yes. So, this is a false reality, yes? Once created in the shadow of yours. I mean, it is so. This world still provides enough sustenance. I will travel to your world and resume my activities there. What is your... It shall be done. Several months after SCP-435's first normal containment procedures were developed, on November 27, 2010, SCP-4335 managed to breach containment of its chamber, alerting all nearby containment staff by saying, "And so my prison breaks," before destroying the nearby area and subsequently transporting itself to an entirely new server. Approximately 2 hours of metadata calculations, SCP-4335's new server was discovered, and MTF Edna-84 was sent to contain the anomaly once again. All of SCP-4335's containment staff left the server and attempted to enter the server that SCP-4335 entered. There's actually a photo of this that you can see here too. Now, I'm not going to read all the other logs, so you guys can read those. They're very, very long if you're curious about it. But that's a pretty good ending to that. Now we have one more SCP here. That's crazy. We've been reading for 3 hours, chat. Not me wanting to uninstall. You never know. You truly never know. Now for this one, I might change the music a little bit. Let's see if this works. Okay. Awesome. This will be a little different. This one is SCP-5031. The last one. Note, file under review. This document has been flagged for possible methodological issues. Please be aware that the following information is subject to change and may contain inaccuracies. Item SCP-5031. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-5031 is to be contained in an all-airtight iron cell in Biosite 59. The structure must be inspected for imperfections on a bi-weekly basis. No other interaction necessary. Description: SCP-5031 is a non-sapient quasi-humanoid creature of unknown origin. when directly observed, SCP-5031 will temporarily cease to exist until the viewer stops observing the space that SCP-5031 formerly occupied. Traces of its existence, example, scratch marks, blood trails, continue to exist when SCP-5031 does not exist. Video and photography devices do not capture SCP-5031's appearance. However, observing SCP-5031's shadow does not cause cessations of existence, allowing certain psychological traits to be inferred from its silhouette. Abnormally small head with no discernible neck, elbow branch into 3 sets of lower arms each. Elongated torso approximately 1.9 meters in length. Pelvis terminates in a crescent-shaped protrusion of osseous tissues with a blade-like lower edge. Levitates above the ground at a fixed height of 0.5 meters. While SCP-5031 has no nutritional needs, it will nevertheless hunt and consume any human or animal it encounters by using its pendulous lower body to down targets. SCP-5031 does not sleep and is incapable of expression or verbal communication. Addendum. As of... maybe I've been reading the dates wrong. As of February 14th, 2018, senior researcher Stanley Huxtable is now acting in the role of HMCL supervisor for SCP-5031. The following is a section of relevant correspondences from SR Huxtable to Site Director Yusef Mustafi, elucidating research progress. Initial impressions. I have no idea who wrote this, but there's a lot I'd like to say to them. I'm not a fan of abandoning a living creature inside a metal box for 10 years, no matter how pragmatic it may be. It's difficult to fathom that such things were considered the norm a decade ago. Have you ever heard something scream from behind 10 inches of iron for hours on end? When do I do my redraft? When I do my redraft, remind me to add anomalous resistance to hoarseness somewhere in the description. Could you work your magic and get the boys to retrofit the containment cube with an aperture and security vestibule? Can I read English? This weird English. I'd like to run some tests that require exposing SCP-5031 to certain stimuli. Round 1 test. Forward. Install speakers in the containment vestibule and play the various albums of natural ambience and popular music. SCP-5031's propensity for screaming worked as a convenient way to measure its stress levels. 100% would be considered its typical screaming volume and duration. Over 48 hours, and 0% would be no screaming at all. Morning forest ambience, 43% stress level. Seaside paradise ambience, 48% stress level. Deep grotto ambience, 62% stress level. The best of Mozart, 13 stress level. Okay. The best of Enya, 18% stress levels. The best of Ben Folds, 6% stress level. The best of Jethro Tull, 59% stress level. The best of Kiss, 23% stress level. Afterward, efficacy of music for stress reduction gradually decreases over time. I've assembled a playlist of SCP-5031's favorite music to play on shuffle in its enclosure in perpetuity. Stress levels consistently remain in the 15 to 25% range, baseline adjusted accordingly. Round 2, test, play, summary. Test, threw softball into enclosure. Results, slice the ball in two. Test, toss basketball into enclosure. Slice the ball open. Test, rolled bowling ball into enclosure. Scratch a couple of grooves into the ball, then roll the ball around the enclosure with the blunt end of its tail for 20 minutes. Stress levels remained less than 60% after play. Test, rolled another bowling ball into enclosure. Use the blunt end of its tail to hit the ball together for a while. Stress levels remained less than 40% after played. Test again, bowling ball chipped and would no longer roll properly. Unplanned. Stress level increased to 115%. Another test, replacement bowling ball provided. Stress levels fell back to 40%-ish. Another test, tossed basketball into enclosure. Picked up and played with the ball. Stress level remained less than 20%. SCP-5031 began to use its hands to play with the basketball, possibly to avoid accidentally damaging it. Motor skill comparable to that of a toddler, SCP-5031 still prefers bowling ball for kicking. Round 3 test. Food. Summary. SCP-5031 was given the choice between two potential food sources placed at opposite ends of the enclosure. Choices: human corpse, pig carcass. Selection: pig carcass. Choices: pig carcass, chicken carcass. Selection: pig carcass. Choices: pig carcass, rotisserie chicken, rotisserie chicken. I don't know how to pronounce that. Selection: rotisserie chicken. Choices: chicken carcass, rotisserie chicken. Selection: rotisserie chicken. Choices: live chicken, rotisserie chicken. Selection: rotisserie chicken. Choices: roasted turkey, rotisserie chicken. Selection: neither. Presumed stated. While it's true that SCP-5031 doesn't necessarily need to eat, feeding it regularly has caused a marked decrease in average stress levels. Stress reduction seems to scale proportionally with the quality of food provided. Also, of note is that SCP-5031 prefers to use its tail to pry and cut meat into bite-sized portions, rather than rip the meat into chunks with its teeth or hands. Rotisserie. Yeah, okay, so pretty close enough. Round 4 of testings. Coexistence. Test 1. SCP-5031 fed until sated. Live subject, common chicken, introduced to enclosure. Also, I'm about to sneeze, so give me a second. I'm good. Result: SCP-5031 observed subject from a distance for several minutes and then rolled the bowling ball towards subject at high speed. Subject was killed instantly. Stress levels rose immediately and drastically. Test 2. Bowling balls removed from enclosure. Fed until sated. Live subject, common chicken, introduced to enclosure. SCP-5031 gently rolled a basketball towards subject. Ball hit subject lightly. Subject responded with a small cry and moved away. SCP-5031 did not engage with subject any further. Test 3. Fed until sated. Live subject, Class D, blindfolded, introduced to enclosure, and instructed to sit and roll basketball forward. Then wait until it came back roll. Is this a human experiment? Result: subject and SCP-5031 successfully rolled the ball back and forth for several minutes. SCP-5031 eventually abandoned the activity and approached subject. Per safety protocol, subject removed their blindfold to terminate the activity. Yeah, because if you look at it, it just disappears, right? Test 4. Fed until sated. Live subject, Class D, introduced to the enclosure and instructed to toss a tennis ball at the wall. Let it ricochet behind them, then catch and repeat. Results: SCP-5031 stood behind subject and successfully engaged in game of catch, mimicking subject's action of letting ball ricochet against the wall. Afterward, SCP-5031's motor skills appeared to be rapidly improving. Round 5 of tests. Symbols. 5 LCD displays were fitted into the wall of SCP-5031's enclosure, each with a lid button and food dispenser underneath. Test 1. 2 stations activated. Screen 1 displayed the image of a rock. Its button dispensed rocks. Screen 2 displayed the image of a rotisserie chicken. Its button dispensed pieces of chicken. Results: SCP-5031 poked at the image of a chicken for a few minutes and eventually hit the button. Chicken was dispensed until SCP-5031 was satisfied. Test 2. Screen displays the materials dispensed were swapped. SCP-5031 hit the button had with the previous day and received a rock. It then went to the other screen and hit the button to dispense chicken. Test 3. Screen displays and materials dispensed were swapped back to their original positions and then set to swap again at random intervals after first distribution. Result: SCP-5031 went directly to the button next to the image of a chicken, experienced apparent confusion after the first mid-distribution swap, but quickly learned to watch the images. Test 4. 3 more stations, screens, buttons, dispensers, were activated. 4 stations displayed the word rock and dispensed rocks. 1 station displayed the word chicken and displayed chicken. Arrangement set to change randomly several times over the following days. Result: through trial and error, SCP-5031 determined which station dispensed chicken. Subsequently went to the station marked chicken whenever displays were swapped. So it's learning. Test 5. All stations activated except 1. Screen displayed the word chicken. 7 wood blocks were set in front of the station, each marked with one of the letters in the word chicken. The station button was set to remain unlit and inactive until the blocks were arranged in the correct order. Result: SCP-5031 expressed apparent frustration, hitting the inactive button repeatedly and striking the wall with its tail. Test 6. Same as the previous test, but screen displayed the word chicken, with each letter overlaid on a photo of a woodblock. Result: after 12 minutes, SCP-5031 successfully assembled the word chicken. It can learn language, Yusuf. Test 6. Vocabulary. SCP-5031 has learned to use letter blocks to form the following words: chicken, tofu, more salt, turkey, beef, pepper, pork, bread, more cooked, Mozart, forest, more volume, Enya, seaside, less volume, Ben folds, white noise, silence. Basketball, cat, Robert, bowling ball, dog, Stanley, tennis ball, human, alone. Through its increased vocabulary and human interaction, SCP-5031 has made the following progress. Establish food preferences and dish pairings. Learn to sing non-verbally. Learn to juggle, since six-handed juggling is something to behold. Round 7 of tests. Activities. Test 1. Introduce table, paper, and crayons into the enclosure. Live subject D52125 instructed to demonstrate drawing of SCP-5031. Results: SCP-5031 learned to draw. Discernible subjects depicted in its artworks included D52125, SCP-5031, a rotisserie chicken, a cat, and myself. Test 2. Introduce piano into the enclosure. Live subject D52125 instructed to play chopsticks blindfolded and invite SCP-5031 to play along. Subject had time to practice beforehand. Result: SCP-5031 learned chopsticks in 2 days. Though it appeared more interested in making its own original music, complete with vocals. These compositions might be considered crude by human standards. Test 3. Introduce spice rack into the enclosure. Live subject D52125 instructed to demonstrate seasoning meats. Results: SCP-5031 spent almost 3 straight days experimenting with different combinations of food and spices. SCP-5031 assembled the words more with its letter blocks after running out of garlic powder. Afterward, SCP-5031 only engages with art and music when accompanied by D52125, but it continues to be preoccupied with food preparations even when alone. Round 8. Tests. Cooking. Results. Forward. Basic kitchen utilities installed in an enclosure. Live subject D52125 instructed to demonstrate preparations of various recipes. Recipes learned: quesadilla, taco, hamburger, fried rice, Mongolian beef, spicy chicken curry, chocolate chip cookies, sponge cake with buttercream, fudge, clam chowder, steak, macaroons, chicken adobo, smoked salmon, profiteroles. Afterwards, SCP-5031 has a severe peanut allergy. He doesn't like peanuts. This should be included in the revised containment procedures. I would also like to note that SCP-5031 is now a better chef than the average human, and it has begun to create its own recipes. D52125 has volunteered to taste test. Update. This is by June 30th, 2019. SCP-5031 has said its first word: salt. We are all immensely proud. Final test. Summary. SCP-5031 was given 2 months to develop a 3-course meal to serve at the Bayou Site 59 cafeteria for personnel working over Thanksgiving. Its selections were as follows. First course: sweet potato turmeric miso soup. Second course: duck confit with apple cider glaze and cranberry compote topping, paired with butternut squash gnocchi on a bed of kale seasoned with truffle salt. Third course: a slice of spiced cassava pie topped with French vanilla ice cream and a maple hazelnut syrup. SCP-5031 also debuted its original composition Piano Sonata for 6 hands in a live performance broadcast from its enclosure. Personnel response was overwhelmingly positive. SCP-5031 stress at level 0%. Testing successfully concluded. Revised documentation submitted for approval. Okay, that was funny. Kinda. We saw development. I'm proud. I'm proud of 50, 30 something. 31. That was the nicest SCP. And yeah, I mean, not all SCPs are bad, you know? Not all SCPs are like bad or terrifying. However, that one kind of is terrifying to a certain extent. Kind of like learning the human behavior. With that said, the SCP reading horror stream has concluded. I hope, you know, for the people that are going to sleep sometime soon, I hope you sleep well. I am so sorry. You know, I will be there in your dreams to hold your hand, so don't worry. You'll be safe. Okay? I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully we can do it again in the future. Sure, this was lovely. It was very relaxing, very, very cozy. And I'm curious about more SCP, and probably even more, like, actually more horrific stories. But yeah, I will see you guys later, members, for the Babadook. We're gonna be watching the Babadook in memberships, so hope to see you there. Thank you for coming by. Thanks for existing, and don't forget to like, don't forget to sub, and keep being yourself, keep being kind to others as well, and remember that you're beautiful and wonderful and wontastic. Until the next one, I'll see you all later. Janet.